Dandavat, good morning.
Dandavat, Jai Ho. So maybe continue with verse number 77 of Sri Sri RadhaRasaSudhanidhi. This wonderful treasure house of nectar, this ocean of nectar. Yad vrindavana matra kucharam aho yana shrutikam shiro Pyarothum kshamate na yat shiva sukhadinam tu yat yangam yat premamrita madhuri rasa mayam yanitya kaishorakam tadrupam pariveshtum evanayanam lolayamanam mama. My restlessly search for the eternal nectarian, sweet, adolescent, loving form of Sri Radha, which is only visible in Vrindavan, which cannot be described even by the Vedas, and that is not even perceived by Lord Shiva or Shukha Muni in their meditations. I repeat, it's quite a long verse. My eyes restlessly search for the eternal nectarian, sweet, adolescent, loving form of Sri Radha, which is only visible in Vrindavan, which cannot be described even by the Vedas, and it is not even perceived by Lord Shiva or Shukha Muni in their meditations. So this is, I think, the prayer of Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur in Sadhaka Avesh, because he cannot see Swamini, he is searching for her. So let's see the explanations. The sweetness of Sri Radha's adolescence. In Srimad Bhagavat, Canto 10, Chapter 82, it is seen that the gopis were not happy. Oh, we read this already. My God. Sorry, my mistake. Next verse. So we jump to 78. Yeah, we have to put a bookmark in the book. I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, that's... Yes.
We read this yesterday when the question was, my mind is Vrindavan, remember?
Exactly.
Yes.
You answered so nicely.
Dharma dhyarta chatushtayam vichayatam kim tadvrita vartaya saikanteshvara bhakti yoga patavit varopita mutnani ya vrindavana simnikachana chanaschaya kishorimanis tad kainkarya rasamrita diha param chite namero chate. All glories, oh, that's a nice verse. All glories to the four human pursuits, like religiosity, increase of wealth, sense enjoyment, and liberation. Why should we vainly speak about them? Let my exclusive devotion for the Supreme Lord ornament my head. Hidden meaning, I don't care for it. So sarcasm was also known right then. All glories, he says, all glories to the four pillars of human society, but why should we hear it? Nothing else can please my mind but the nectar rasa of the maidservanthood of some most amazing jewel of adolescent girls from the outskirts of Vrindavan. Very nice subject matter. The nectarian flavor of Radha's maid service. Kainkarya, I was seeing the word Kainkarya in the verse. Kainkarya means maid service, and Rasamritat means nectar flowing from that. Beautiful. And in Sadakavesh, Sripad Prabhupada Saraswati Pad shows his one-pointed loyalty to Sri Radha's maidservant, which for him and for us is the supreme goal of life. So this one-pointed loyalty is the hallmark of Manjari Bhav. This is the sign of Radhika Sneha, that we are more focused on the lotus feet of Swamini than anything else. So like we heard many times, there are three divisions. There are the gopis who love Krishna more. There are the gopis who love both equally. But we are in the third camp. We are in the camp of Radhika Sneha. We have more love for Radharani than for Krishna. And here Sripad shows his one-pointed loyalty to exactly that emotion. This is his Bhavolasarati. First of all, he says, Dharmadya artha chatushtayam vichayatam kim tat mbrita vartaya. All glories to the four pursuits of human life, namely religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. So everyone is hankering after these four principles, so-called religion, then economic development, which is rather bad nowadays, then all these sense gratification, and finally moksha, liberation. Baba is saying, why should we vainly speak about them? So we don't. Purushartha means the desired goal, artha, of a purusha, living entity. Here purusha is not meaning the highest entity, but the living entity. In this world we find different people with different likings. Bina ruchir hilokaha. Everyone to his liking, roughly translated. Therefore, it is natural that there are innumerable different desires of the living entities. But according to the revealed scriptures and the saints, all these desires can be strung together on one thread, and that is happiness. So the quest for happiness through these four principles is actually the main goal in the material world. Unfortunately, it is not possible. Bhagavad Gita saying, from Brahma down to the lowest species of life, no real happiness can be found. Real happiness can only come from Hladini Shakti, from Radhika. And since Hladini Shakti and Samvit, I know and I love, are a combination and they result in bhakti, bhakti is the only means to attain happiness. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is saying, as much as we progress in bhakti, like a scale, the scale of happiness will increase and the scale of misery will decrease proportionally. So the more we practice bhakti, the more happiness will come, and the concomitant factor, a bonus, so to say, is that the materially afflicted pain by the three modes of nature, by everything, will decrease. So this is very wonderful that when we practice bhakti, those four principles of human life, karma, artha, dharma, moksha, they will not be of any interest for the sincere sadhak. It's not necessary. Srila Gurudev many times says, automatically, Radha and Krishna will provide for you when you seriously follow Manjari Bhav sadhana. So happiness, this is the strung on one thread. This is the main subject of those 4 principles to attain happiness. Sukham me bhaya dukham ma bhat. Let me be happy and let me not be unhappy. For the surveyability, the great philosophers have divided all these desires in 4: dharma, religiosity, artha, economic development, karma, sense gratification, and mukti or moksha, liberation. These are called the 4 purusharthas. The aim, the purushas, the living entities, are hunting and are going for. The living entities who are deluded by Maya consider sense gratification to be their natural happiness. Some people don't make any distinction between the different kinds of gross sensual enjoyments, nor do they care about laws, rules, morality, and social considerations. Now Baba is becoming pretty strict. They are simply engaged in animalistic sense gratification. Their purushartha is called kama, lust. Others have some consideration for rules and proper conduct in their quest for sense gratification. Those who consider morality and society while gratifying their senses need money, and their purushartha is called artha, economic development. The richer I become, the more happy I am. That is their motto. Again, others desire not only happiness in this life, but also in their next birth, preferably on the heavenly planets. They invest in this by means of offering charity, being compassionate, performing sacrifices, and following the rules of the caste systems. But even that, we all know that, striving for sense gratification is not at all the goal we are hankering after. We can never be happy. Srila Gurudev many times said, you have this body and you need to take care of this body, but we cannot focus our entire time on pleasing our senses. We have to develop our real senses. And the real senses are those senses which belong to the Siddha Deha, our manjari form. So we have these senses, and we, like Gurudev said, we take care of these senses. You go to the toilet and you come out of the toilet many, many times. He said this. So we cannot focus on that. It will not bring happiness in this world at all. And Baba is now saying, even if you go to the heavenly planets, you will stay there for some time, but you are bound to come down. So your karma will run out. And you have to return to this world of threefold miseries. You can enjoy there very long. That is really nice. But it is also not our goal. It is also not what the devotee, what the sadhaka is hankering for. Not at all. So this sense gratification, karma, we reject. We only do the necessities of life so that we are comfortable in our material life. We take care of everything because we know it is for the purpose of serving Shri Shri Radha Mohan. So we take care of this. We don't reject the material energy. We use Maya in Krishna's seva. So we take very nicely care of everything. Gurudev always teaches us to take very nice care about these things we have, and always thinking that we are not the proprietor. We only lend them for this life. It is only like a rental for one existence on this planet. So then sense gratification, obviously, in the Bhagavad Gita, I told, is like from Brahma down to the lowest species of life, there's only misery. And it is said in the Shastra, the happiness we experience is just when you are underwater. For a long time, you are drowning in the water and you come up and you think, oh, how wonderful. But then you have to go down again and up and you think again, oh, now I am enjoying. And then you go down again and then you suffer. So this coming up, this 1, 2, 3 seconds of bliss, because you have air and you can breathe, the living entity considers as happiness, but it's not. So this is the first thing. No, this is not our goal. And then artha, striving for wealth and a lot of money. Look at the people in the world who have a lot of money. If they have nothing there, Gurudev is saying, if you don't put one first, then you have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then there's nothing is there. You can have millions and millions and millions of money. If you don't put Krishna and Radha in the center of your life, there's nothing there. You can have billions. Look at all these guys, Bill Gates and all these people, Soros. How dissatisfied these people are. Because money can't buy love, the Beatles say. Money can't buy love. It's not possible. Money can't buy you anything. You can have money that you can support yourself and your family nicely. But if the goal is to accumulate too much money, it will not work. We all know that. You will be attached and it will backfire on you for sure. So this artha, economic development, is also not our goal. We reject this also. And then, of course, moksha. We also reject moksha. Srila Raghunathas Goswami even goes so far to say, I spit on the thought of becoming liberated. He calls liberation a tigress who is eating the soul, who is eating us. So he says we spit on the thought of becoming liberated. We don't want liberation. Liberation means no active seva. Therefore, Srila Raghunathas Goswami is saying it is a horrible, horrible thought because it means complete passiveness, floating in nothingness, just giving up all designations and becoming one. You give up your individuality forever and you cannot have a relationship anymore. Srila Gurudev so many times put emphasis on the relationship. So when we go for moksha, Srila Raghunathas Goswami is saying it's a tigress and it will swallow your soul. You will not have the chance anymore to have a wonderful relationship with our Swamini. Forget about all Manjari Bhav sadhana. It will spoil it. It will destroy it. Thinking about it alone will destroy it. So also that we completely reject at most. We really reject. We spit on the thought of moksha. So like Prabodhananda Saraswati Part, he says, all glory is to those 4 things. But why should we go and why should we hanker for it? So not necessary. And then he brings up what we should go for. Others again give up their desires for temporary happiness and strive for liberation by treading the path of jnana or knowledge and wisdom. What we just said, their purushartha, their goal is called moksha or liberation. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad teaches in Lalita Madhava 5.2, as long as not a whiff of love, which is like a perfect herb, like herbal medicine, to control Sri Krishna, has traveled on the road to the heart. How beautiful. Uddhava, right? As a language, the language is fantastic.
Very nice.
As long as not a whiff of love, which is like a perfect herb, to control Sri Krishna, like a magic herbal substance, to control Sri Krishna has traveled on the road to the heart. What means that? Has traveled on the road to the heart. That means Bhakti Lata Beach. You know, Guru is giving us all we have to have, and he puts it in the heart, because the heart is our container. It should go directly straight through the heart. From Guru Parampara, the seed is giving to us into our heart. And Srila Gurudev, the navigator, is giving us that seed straight to the heart. So Rupa Goswami is saying, as long as you don't feel this love traveling down the road into your heart, let's see what he says. One may become very astonished and happy from the attainment of mystic perfection, the mystic cities, the religion of truth, samadhi or absorption in the bliss of the undifferentiated Brahman. So here we can see, as long as we don't feel belonging to the lotus feet of Gurudev in the seva to Srimad Radharani, as long as we have no little whiff of love in our heart, we may fall prey in the trap of these things. We may be, as Rupa Goswami is saying, we may be astonished how the mystic perfection will knock on the door of someone who is practicing bhakti and will say, hey, do you want this? Do you want that? Lighter than light, heavier than heavy, being in one place many times parallel. So the sadhaka will say, no, thank you. We will go forward. Because when we feel even the slightest pinch of love, like Rupa Goswami is saying, the only cause for Raganuga Bhakti is the kripa of the Vaishnavas and Krishna. So as soon as we feel this coming in our heart, we can very easily lose all interest in these things. It will not bother us anymore. Srila Gurudev said always, one-pointed. We should be focused. Even, Srila Gurudev said, even within the spiritual realm, with all the 5 rasas, and even in Madhurya ras, there are several possibilities to perform bhakti in Madhurya ras. Even there, we should be one-pointed in Manjari Bhav Sadhana. What to speak about the 4, these mystic things and moksha and karma and all that stuff. So we can very, very, very easily leave all these aspirations behind when we focus on Manjari Bhav Sadhana. No problem. We just have to pray like the Mahajans are praying, that a whiff of love may travel to the road in my heart, so that I can understand the glories of the seva to the lotus feet of Swamini. So such a wonderful, wonderful verse.
Can also read the other way, Tarunji, that it only requires a whiff of love in order to set us on the path of bhakti.
100%.
Like we were saying yesterday, we only need one drop of desire to get us started.
Yes.
And here, if we have a consciousness of just one tiny drop of love, then we're well on the path.
Yes, thank you so much. 100%. Very nice, Uddhava. So this little thing, the living entity, he cannot produce on his own. So that is why bhakti is actually not an inductive path where we go and we search in every spiritual marketplace, but bhakti is a deductive path. It comes from above. It descends. It comes into our heart by the grace of Guru. So, and as soon as this whiff of love enters in our heart, it is, in the beginning, it is not love. In the beginning, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad is saying it is interest. As soon as we have interest to hear about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, as soon as we hear about that from a sadhu, as soon as this interest is there, we are qualified to practice Raganuga Bhakti. And by doing that, in the Anugatya of Srila Gurudev, this whiff of love may travel the road into our heart. And so we may easily give up all these things Baba just mentioned. Now Rupa Goswami is saying, when prema has even slightly appeared in the heart, what we just said, the four human pursuits become as insignificant as blades of grass. Here is a very interesting and very deep point. Many people think that prema suddenly comes in its fullness. Boom! And you are full of prema. No, this is not the way it goes. Jiva Goswami also says like this. It slowly, slowly fills our heart. There is already, we read this in the last days, the rays of prema are slowly entering in our hearts because that is the nature of bhakti. Why? Because bhakti is a combination of Samvit and Ladini Shakti. By performing bhakti, Ladini Shakti is so strong that even in the beginning, these little rays of prema are already entering into our hearts. And therefore we feel this, we feel happy, we feel fine, and we feel the creed, you know. So this is really, really wonderful to understand, and this gives us so much hope that prema already starts to come into our hearts by performing Manjari Bhav Sadhana. It starts. We don't have to wait. When will it come? When will it come? It already is there, but we have to be open for it in true humility and true openness. I love this sentence. When prema has even slightly, you see Rupa Goswami is saying slightly. That means even if a little bit of prema, so how can a little bit of prema come? Only by the mercy of Swamini, Ladini Shakti, is giving us this energy into our hearts. And slowly, slowly, the heart will be filled. And then Bhava Bhakti comes, and when the heart is fully filled, Prema Bhakti comes. So, again, wonderful verse. When Prema has even slightly appeared in the heart, the four human pursuits become as insignificant as blades of grass. And therefore, you don't hear anyone here in Mungir Mandir when you are together with our beloved Sadhu Maharaj. Nobody is talking about Dharma, Artha, Karma, and Moksha. Why would we? It is a distraction and it is painful for the ears of the devotees, so we only talk about RadhaRasaSudhanidhi and Vilapa Kusumanjali to attain our eternal Swarup. So, more. As far as exclusive devotion for the Supreme Lord is concerned, this refers to reverential, regulated worship of God. Vaidhi Bhakti, Aishvarya Bhav. Reverential feelings towards a majestic Godhead decrease the feelings of deep, intimate love. Wow. Strong sentiment, right? This is a very, very strong statement Baba is making here. Again, reverential feelings. So meaning, feeling of fear, awe and reverence, meaning Vaidhi, meaning Aishwarya. Oh, God is great, God is the majesty, God is the highest truth, all that things. Reverential feelings towards a majestic Godhead decrease the feelings of deep, intimate love. So as long as there is this, now we had this whiff of love coming into our heart, but as long as there is still some whiff of this Aishwarya, of this consideration that God is the highest, God is almighty, then we can never enter into this most intimate and deep relationship with Srimati Radhika. It's not possible. We are on the path of Manjari Bhav Sadhana, and all these feelings of Aishwarya and reverence and awe and even fear need to go out of the window. They should be left behind. Deep feelings cannot be possible, so we cannot assume that we can have a deep relationship to our Gurudev and to Swamini if we still have these Aishwarya, this reverential, this majestic conception of a Godhead in our hearts. Therefore, Srila Gurudev always focuses on emphasis on Radhika. Yeah, Krishna is there as her lover. Yeah, we know Krishna, he's her lover. So he focuses definitely so much on Swamini that we understand and we come away from the concept that he is the Almighty, because this will decrease the intimate love. So Sripad says, let it remain on my head, meaning I don't care. According to Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, great sadhu, there are two kinds of devotion, Svanishta and Ekanti. First, he gives the first explanation. The Svanishta devotee loves all the form of God equally. So this we can also nowadays see when you go to, for example, I don't want to make an offense, but when you go to any yoga retreat, but you are fixed in Manjari Bhav and they are singing mantras to all Godheads. That is very nice, but that is not our upasana. We give respect and we say it's wonderful, but a sadhaka in Manjari Bhav, he feels no need to go to all Godheads, sing about all the gods. We just perform our bhajan in Anugatya to Swamini's lotus feet. She is our goddess, Radha and Krishna. So this is a very important point. These devotees, they have love for all the forms of God equally. So how can they develop a Sthayi Bhav? How can they develop Ekanta Bhav, a Sthayi Bhav? It's not possible. For them it may be okay. But as soon as you get a glimpse of the Nikunja Leelas of Vrindavan, you don't care about this. It's not that we reject or we offend all this, but we don't go into this because our upasana, our method of worship is a different one. It's a very different one. So now he says the other one, which is our category, I dare say. Now he says, what is an Ekanti devotee? The Ekanti devotees have a preference and an attachment for one particular form of God. And they are better than the ordinary Svanishta devotees. So, when we remember our Diksha mantras, it is really important to understand that Gurudev is giving the Diksha mantra, especially Kam Gayatra and Gopal mantra, and there, all aspects you need to have to develop your relationship with your Ishtadev are there. But you need to have a specific relationship to a specific form of God. Otherwise, those Diksha mantras will not work. So that means we, as Manjari Bhav sadhakas, our specific relationship is as a Manjari. In Madhurya Rasa, as a Manjari, we meditate upon our mantras giving from Gurudev in our Siddha Swarup, in our Siddha Deha. So we are in this category that we hanker for a specific relationship with a specific form of God. Mohanji, Shyama Sundar, and our Ishtadev is Radhika. This is very easy when we read all these books and we come upon such a statement from a Shastra, which is not Manjari Bhav's Shastra, but we understand that this Ekanti devotees, this is our goal. Fix our Sthayi Bhav with a specific relationship with Swamini as a Manjari. I find this really
brings us
wonderful.
success, Tarunji, because of course Swamini has not reverential feelings to Mohan. She has loving feelings. So if we're going to be one pointed on Swamini, then reverential feelings will only get in the way.
And when you see what Mahaprabhu said about this Uddhavji, you will laugh and find it very glorious, because he said, I have not come to be worshipped in awe and reverence. He is Radhika himself. So he descended for that purpose. And he himself says, I don't want all that awe and reverence. I only want that the devotees worship me in Raga Nuga Bhakti. Like you said, it will come in the way. It will actually block the way. A huge stone will be in the way. We cannot go around that stone. If we have this reverential feeling, it will block. Thank you, Uddhava. Very, very good point. The Ekanti devotees have a preference and an attachment for one particular form of God. And they are better than the ordinary Svanishta devotees. And now comes what is all about. The best of all Ekanti devotees, those who are one-pointed, are the devotees of Krishna in Braja, according to Srila Rupa Goswami. And he quotes Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:258. Of all the Ekanti devotees, meaning devotees who have one-pointed love, the devotees whose heart is stolen by Govinda is the best. Even the mercy of Lord Narayan cannot even be taken away by Govinda. How wonderful. Of all the Ekanti devotees, the devotees whose heart is stolen by Govinda is the best. Even the mercy of Lord Narayan cannot steal away his mind. But the hearts of Sri Radha's devotees cannot even be taken away by Govinda. Very wonderful point. So there's still a chance that the devotees of Krishna can be, maybe, Narayan can, maybe, but when you are a devotee of Radhika, nothing and no one, even Lord Krishna himself, cannot take away your sthayi bhav as a manjari. It's not possible. It's not possible because we are under the umbrella. Gurudev is always saying, we are under the umbrella. We are the shadow of Radhika. How can you just try to escape? How can a shadow go away from a shadow can never escape? Not possible. The shadow is always there. So we can never lose our path as manjari as long as we are fixed in our sthayi bhav. Not even Govinda can steal away that firm determination. How powerful and beautiful is Guru Kripa. But the hearts of Sri Radha's devotees cannot even be taken away by Govinda. No. He himself comes to the manjaris and begs the manjaris for entrance in the Nikunjas. He himself bows down and says, please, please, can you please arrange the meeting for me with my beloved? So how fortunate are we to can step in this position one day as a manjari? Srimad Raghunath Das Goswami said, Tvam chet kripam mai vitasyasi, naiva kim me branair, brachena cha varoru bhakanira napi. Yes. Vilapa Kusumanjali 102. If you, Radhika, are not merciful to me, then what is the use of my life, of Braja, and even of Krishna to me? Thus, Sri Radha's devotees are the crown jewels of Ekanti devotees. I repeat, this is very wonderful. If you, Radhika, are not merciful to me, then what is the use of my life, of Braja, and even of Krishna to me? Here we see that, again, Raghunath Das Goswami is saying that worshipping, he also says this, and Prabodhananda Saraswati also says it. So what is the use of worshipping Krishna alone? It's no use. we have to worship Krishna because he is the lover of Swamini. Our worship belongs to the lotus feet of Radhika. We don't want to worship Krishna alone. This is not the upasana in Manjari Bhav Sadhana. It is Radha's lotus feet alone. And here he says, if you are not merciful to me, what is the use of being a devotee of Krishna? Very straight words. Very heavy.
We can only have a relationship to Krishna through Radha. There's no direct relationship. There's no sense. There's no meaning to a direct relationship. It's only through Radha.
Yes. If we truly want the pinnacle of love, we have to follow what Uddhavji said just now. There's no need and there's no use. And this is a wonderful point. Without Radhika, the relationship to Krishna is meaningless. It's a very, very beautiful point. Fantastic. Because only then can we have this gift of Mahaprabhu in our hearts. Otherwise, we are not performing Manjari Bhav Sadhana, which is Ujjvala Rasam Svabhakti Shriyam. What is the highest gift Mahaprabhu came to give? And like Uddhavji said, this is only possible by the mercy of Swamini. And therefore, in Bhakti, Ladini Shakti is very prominent. Pleasure potency is very prominent. So it helps us to overcome all obstacles and to follow Gurudev and to please Gurudev and to serve Gurudev and Guru Manjari to attain our real goal. Like Sadhu Maharaj, Gurudev he always says the Guru is not the goal. He helps us to get there. He helps us to cement this ekanti bhav in our heart. Not playing ping pong, like Gurudev always says, not going there, thinking to be, now today I want to go with the cowherd boys to the fields and have fun and adventure with Krishna. Or I also like baby Gopal, very nice, very beautiful. So this is playing ping pong. This is not ekanti. This is not ekanti bhav. This is playing ping pong. So we are very fortunate, my dears, that we can follow and sit in the presence of our Gurudev and also of my Gurudev, who is not different from his words, and listen to this beautiful advices he gives us. And today, more or less, it was that lesson was that the lotus feet of Swamini are just so high that everything else, all these 4 principles of human life are insignificant. Even love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is insignificant. So we are blessed by the true mercy of Mahaprabhu if we follow Manjari Bhav Sadhana. The end is the summary again. This is beautiful from another saint. Summarization always. All glories to the 4 human pursuits: religiosity, wealth, sense enjoyment, and liberation. Everybody is praying for them, but I don't need them. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says, I will offer my obeisances unto reverential devotion to the limitlessly opulent Lord. He really puts it on the point. He drives it up, I will offer my obeisances unto reverential devotion, Aishvarya Bhav, to the limitlessly opulent Supreme Lord. My mind does not like anything else but the most delicious nectarian maid service of Shri Radha, the jewel of Braja, who is Krishna's most astonishing beloved in Vrindavan, and who cannot be compared to anyone in this world. This is the end of verse 78.
It's very special commentary, like you were saying at the beginning, Tarunji. Babaji doesn't speak so often about mundane things.
Yes.
And here it reminded me a little bit of Prabhupada, actually. in the commentary at the beginning, that he's talking about the four mundane pursuits.
Yeah, very much. Also in different purports, he speaks about these things I think to hammer down, to really hammer it in our heart that we have to see through all this, offerings of the material world, offerings of the heavenly planets, offerings of liberation, offerings of Aishwarya Bhav, offerings of Vaikuntha. Baba is doing this only always to make, then the turning point comes always at the end, bringing it home. You see, like no time wasting in the four pursuits of human life. Then no time wasting performing worship of all gods. Spanishta devotees who have equal love for all the gods. Baba is saying transcend this. And then Baba is saying also you have to transcend. The next step is, Vaikuntha, the referential love to God, Vaidhi Bhakti in Aishwarya Bhav. Also transcend this. And at the end, he leads us to the gates of Nikunja Lila, always. This is what fascinated me when I read first time the books of my beloved Gurudev. When I read them the first time, I always thought, my God, always at the end, we are led by his loving hands, always to the same goal, to the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. He may, like you nicely said, Uddhavji, he may pinpoint it down to all these steps we take. When we were in Gurudev's room one day last week, Baba was leading us through all the kinds of love the gopis have for Krishna. There is this different, Kupcha has a special Sadharani love. Kupcha loves Krishna because she is very lusty for his form. Then the next step was, I'm not knowing now the Sanskrit word, but the next step were higher in love, were the queens of Rukmini, of Dwarka, who love Krishna in marriage. And the highest step is Samartha, means those who are capable to control Krishna by their love. Those are the highest, Samartha. Those are the highest who are capable. This means capable love to control Krishna. And from them, and from this, from this jumping board, Baba then went on to explain, and of those in Samartha Rasa, Radhika stands out. And he just mentioned all those classification to lead us there, to understand that the lotus feet of Swamini cannot be, like now he's saying, you see, cannot be compared to anyone in the world. Prabodhananda Saraswati is saying here. So he leads us through all these pearly gates of happiness so that we can come and see, oh, this is all insignificant. We are here now, and we should always, like yesterday in the German Sangha, Gauravani nicely said, we should always be thankful that we are standing in front, actually, of the Nikunja Lila. We can be happy that we now, when we reach perfection, we have the ticket, we have the visa, we have it already confirmed. So we can, and this is Guru Kripa, we can enter that. So Baba expertly, when you listen to a class, sometimes there are classes out there, when Baba is speaking, he always finishes with the point like now. Always. Radha Nishta, Lotus Feet Nishta, Manjari Bhav. This is always the culmination. This is done to educate us, to always make us aware here of the dangers, you can say, of those beautiful offerings. Like Prabhupada many times said, the witches of those four, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Dhamma, they come knocking at the door of the serious student of bhakti, of the sadhaka, and they want to entice him. They want to play with him. But the sincere, Rupa Goswami is saying, the sincere devotee will never open that door. Not caring for all these mystic potencies, not caring for all these things, not even caring, like we said, for many, many different forms, Sitaram. So we should always keep in mind to have a very reverential mood, not make offenses to those who follow that path. Those who worship Sitaram, those who worship Lakshmi Narayan, those who worship whatever, Buddha, we always have love for them and reverence for them, but in our heart, We follow the example of Raghunath Das Goswami, who would not even touch a cup of buttermilk when it came from the place Chandrawali was living. So we are in this firm determination. We are loving and respectful, but we try to be Ekhanti devotees. Step away from these things. Try to avoid as much as possible the Sangha of those people, not out of disrespect or being arrogant, but only because we want to humbly serve our Gurudev in our chosen mood, in our preferred mood. And this is Sachati Sangha and Snikta. And preferably also with people who are more advanced than me. I'm sitting here now and I take this opportunity to be an association of devotees who are more advanced. So this is very helpful for bhakti. This association is so important. I neglected it for a long time. This is my mistake. But you know, in your heart, you know, the remedy is there. It's the only remedy. Like Prabhupada said, the herbal for controlling Krishna, the herb, the magic herb is Manjari Bhav.
Jai Shri Ram.
I think it is okay, right? Or should we read the one more? No, it's nice, right?
It's very nice, yeah.
So we stop
Thank you
here.
so
I think.
much. Yeah.
If someone has, please share. If someone wants to share something, Udavji, anyone, please. Not only me babbling.
So very nice. No babbling.
Yeah.
No, what's nice about just to add on what you said about Anantadas Babaji.
Please.
I mean, he teaches us, he explains, yes, but he leads the heart too. He's a guru in this way. The way he's writing like a poet, he's leading our hearts to the goal and not only our intelligence to the goal. That's what's so beautiful. That's why we love him so much, I think.
Yes. That's what captured me so much, Udavji. When I was still in touch with ISKCON and Gaudiya Math, and one day I met Advaitaji, who translated the books of Baba. And I saw that he was selling them at that time. He ran, you can imagine the following: 2001, 23 years ago, he was some kind of lowly print on demand, you can say. So you sent him an email, please, dear Advaitaji, I want all of Stavavali. Those are 4 books. I want all of RadhaRasaSudhanidhi. Those were 2 books. Vilapa-Kusumanjali were also 2 books, and they have been made as a spiral-bound copies. When you write your doctor work at university, you have this, spiral binding. Nowadays, of course, they use much better stuff. But at that time, it was this spiral bindings, different colors. RadhaRasaSudhanidhi was red cover, and Vilapa-Kusumanjali was in yellow cover. And it was a treasure. So I thought, okay, I'm now a teacher. I earn some money. So I ordered all books in one piece. And I said, okay, this is a huge package. I want to send it to my school, that it's not getting lost. So I gave Advaitaji the address of my school where I worked then. And one day a huge package came to my school, and it was full of all the books from Baba. And I was like, my God, what a nectar. And I started reading RadhaRasaSudhanidhi first. And then, like you, Udavji, I was smitten and completely exuberant when I read the purports. And I thought, I have never read anything similar to this. All glories to Narayan Maharaj and Prabhupada and all these sadhus, but nothing touched the heart. And like you said, we don't have to think, oh, the mind is going, and churning and trying and figuring out. No. The mind is very eager to accept the conclusion Baba is delivering us. I was never sitting there, can this be true? Maybe, perhaps, No. You could feel the love even shining through the English translation, which means something. When Gurudev was in Switzerland, he was reading Krishnananda Prabhuji, he was reading RadhaRasaSudhanidhi from Bangla, to Gurudev, because Gurudev understands Bangla, and Gurudev was talking about and giving us the translation. And you would be amazed how much more nectar will flow when that happens. So my prayer always when I come to Vrindavan, I want to find someone who can translate Vilapa and RadhaRasaSudhanidhi directly from the Bangla. That would be wonderful to have the direct flow, you know. This was what you said. It touches the heart. It's not making any mental exercise. It's going like Rupa Goswami is saying, this whiff, traveling down the road to the heart. This we all can feel when we read these books, and what to speak in shelter of Sadhu Maharaj and you all in Sangha. It multiplies this effect. It multiplies because we all sit here, all with the same mood. We all eat the same medicine, and it multiplies its power manifold.
Jai Radha.
Jai Radhe. Thank you.
Thank you so much.